don't believe it for a second. Hello and welcome to my recap of episode 6 of the Ultimatum Queer Love. Today is a very important day. It is the end of the trial marriages and the beginning of the new trial marriages with the old partners. So it's the changeover! And everybody is looking fabulous and the host is there, but again, she really doesn't do a whole lot. So, whatever. We start with Tiff and Sam. Tiff said that they came into the trial marriages with anger issues and that Tiff took it out on Sam. Sam said that she was very patient with Tiff and grew in her own right and learned how to speak up for herself. Sam learned how to speak up for herself in confrontational situations. Aussie said that Aussie is very proud of Sam and Sam's growth. And then Aussie explains how hard of a time it was with the trial marriage and how Aussie pulled out and did not finish the trial marriage with Mildred. Mildred felt robbed of her experience in the trial marriage with Aussie because Aussie left. And Mildred says she always wants to talk about everything, so communication and talking, and Aussie just ran away from that. So Mildred felt very alone in the situation, and she brings up her family and how she feels abandoned a lot of the time. And Tiff gets mad at Aussie for bailing on the trial marriage just because it was hard, which is the theme for Aussie, is the running away. Sam says that she supports Mildred and her growth and in dealing with Aussie. Aussie said it was hard and that Aussie tried, but the table turns to Vanessa and Rae. Vanessa gushes about Rae and says how Rae is her best friend and that they were just trying to see if there was a spark there, but it was just kind of a friend spark and they had their little moment and that was it. Rae is saying how she grew and is learning how and what she wants out of a relationship and in herself. So Rae's just trying to figure everything out, really. Vanessa has written a prepared speech that is an apology apparently to everybody and just how Vanessa came across as not being there for the right reasons and robbing people of their experience. So Vanessa reads this apology to everybody. Yoly's not buying it for a second, and Yoly says that the apology seemed very performative. And then Xander spoke up for Vanessa and said, you know, we're all in this experience together to grow, so let's leave some space for people to grow. You know, even if Yoly doesn't really appreciate Vanessa's apology or believe it, Vanessa's at least making an effort to grow and try. So Xander just wants everybody to give Vanessa a little bit of credit and grace for growth. Lexi and Mal. Lexi says that Mal was the perfect choice, the only choice for her in this whole experience for the trial marriages. Mal said that she didn't really want to get intimate physically because she didn't want to confuse the situation any further. And Yoly chimes in and asks if a perfect 3 weeks can translate into a perfect forever, which is a valid question, but it also applies to Yoly, so she can ask herself that as well. Xander said that the trial marriage felt right and natural and stable, and Xander and Yoly both have similar values and they both want families and they were getting along really well, and Yoly sees a future with Xander for sure, but isn't sure about a future with Mal. She says potentially, but I don't know yet. Mal is doing really well so far, but you could tell that it's like starting to chip away at her, and she's starting to get affected by everything, which is completely understandable. So Mal asks Yoly, like, hey, do you even want to spend these next 3 weeks with me, or would you rather be with Xander? Like, what's the deal? Because Mal thinks that Yoly thinks that Mal is work. Too much work to want to stay in the relationship. Vanessa chimes in and asks Xander and Yoly if there was anything physical. Xander sort of dodges the question, so Yoly doesn't really chime in and add anything to that. Vanessa then says that she's ready to marry Xander. The fuck? What? Where did that come from? I don't believe it for a second. Yoly chastises Vanessa for making it about her. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. So they end the dinner and everybody goes off to their next trial marriages with their original partners. Immediately after the changeover, the original couples go to their house. We're gonna start with Lexi and Rae. That night everything is raw, and after coming off of being with Vanessa, Lexi says that she does not trust Rae to sleep in the bed with her. And so Rae says, fine, I'll sleep on the couch. I don't see this going very well. Lexi and Rae have a beach date, and it's gloomy and overcast, just like their relationship. Lexi is basically harping on the fact that she can't trust Rae, and with the whole Vanessa thing, and that the intimacy wouldn't have mattered except that it was with Vanessa. Rae, for her part, is trying to say that she doesn't feel good enough for Lexi ever because, I mean, Lexi, I guess, as we have seen, has a habit of not letting things go. So I wouldn't be surprised if she brings things up over and over and over and over again, and Rae gets to feeling like she's not good enough. I feel bad for Rae here because she's just really trying to figure herself out. She's still young and she's trying to figure out who she is, what she wants, and who she wants to become in all of this. So Lexi putting this pressure on her and trying to make her feel guilty about exploring herself, exploring what she's looking for with Vanessa, and she just won't let it go. And Rae just kind of can't win in this situation. To continue this theme, Lexi and Rae are now with Lexi's parents. Lexi's at 11. The parents are asking Rae, why are you here, Rae? Are you ready for marriage? And Lexi's just like, Vanessa, I can't trust Rae. I don't know, that's so awkward in front of the parents. Like, if they stay together, right? Those parents are gonna know just how messed up their relationship is, and it's like they still have to interact. I don't know, this is pass. Lexi's still going off. Rae says that she can't keep beating herself up about the same stuff over and over again, which I agree with, and that she has already taken accountability for it. She's sorry about it, but like not really, because she shouldn't have to feel sorry about it. And then Lexi's like, well, you're not sorry about it for the right reasons. And it's like, okay, then just tell me what my reasons are for apologizing to you. You tell me what you want. Never enough. Lexi does have one last point, that before the trial marriages with Rae and Vanessa, that Rae had voluntarily promised not to get physical with Vanessa. I must have missed that part, but apparently she promised that of her own volition, and Lexi did not force Rae to promise that. So Lexi's mad that Rae broke her own promise when Lexi didn't even ask for that promise anyway. That one's a tough one. That I see being upset about, but Lexi needs to let the Vanessa stuff go ASAP. And I feel really bad for Rae because she's just trying to figure everything out. We're gonna move on to Mal and Yoly. Yoly is really having a hard time letting go of Xander, and Mal clearly sees it. It's very, very obvious for everybody involved, and those not involved as well, that Yoly has completely fallen for Xander, and they're gonna have a hard time without each other. Yoly also comes clean about the sex that between her and Xander. Mal just kind of understands and doesn't really get mad, but just kind of takes it all in. And it's clearly hard to hear from Mal, but she's doing the best she can right now. Mal says that she still wants Yoly. She wants to marry Yoly. She just wanted to make sure that Yoly wanted her. And so this is kind of showing Mal where Yoly's head is at. And so Mal is like, hey, I still want to marry you. You are still my person, you know, and I'm not going to give up on this. They end up going to bed. Mel and Yoly are having another conversation in the kitchen, and this one's tougher. Yoly's being very wishy-washy about what she wants, whether it's Xander or Mal. Mal is like, hey, I do want a family, and I want it with you. What do you want from me? What do you need from me to do for Yoly to come back to Mal? Yoly says that she wants more of a partner, more of an equal, and she kind of says that Mal isn't very clean or responsible, and so that's a little bit more what she's looking for. Yoly also brings up the fact that Xander has money set aside for IVF, and Xander wants a family. And hey, Mal, have you saved up for IVF? And Mal's kind of like, no, that was the whole point. I want to be prepared for this. So that's why she was waiting. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for them. Moving on to Mildred and Tiff. The first night after the changeover, they immediately get down to business. It's been a minute. It's been almost a month. They need to get busy. And the thing is, too, the dog was still on the bed. At least kick the dog off. Respect the dog. Mildred and Tiff are meeting with Tiff's friend, Natasha. We love Natasha. Natasha's the best. And Mildred will not let Tiff talk at all. And Natasha breaks in and is like, hey, how many times have you been on and off again? How many times have you broken up and gotten back together? And they estimate in the realm of like 50, if not more. And that is ridiculous, and they should not be together because that is way too many times. Even as a high schooler, I don't think I broke up and got back together with my ex that many times. That's questionable at best. Mildred knows Tiff's the one, and I don't know that that's true. They don't listen to each other, at least, so, and they joke that they went to couples therapy and the therapist gave up on them or fired them. So they should find either a new therapist or they should break up. It's my official opinion. Natasha is not on Team Mildred. Well, at least not with Tiff. So Natasha is with the rest of us and like, hey, Tiff, pass, hard pass. Next, Aussie and Sam. Sam would make a really good therapist. Sam's doing a good job. Sam got saddled with an angry Tiff who was coming off a very passive-aggressive Mildred, and Sam has dealt with Aussie's delicateness, sensitivity for long enough. The night after the changeover, Sam is talking to Aussie, and Sam is asking if Aussie could have done anything better in the trial marriage with Mildred, and Aussie's kind of like, yeah, sort of like dipping Aussie's toes in the conversation, but not fully. Just like, hey, where's this going? Yeah, I could have done things different. I don't like where this is headed. And Sam says this is the new Sam, and she's not going to hold back, and she's not going to placate to Aussie's meltdowns. And she's going to speak up for herself from now on. Aussie is worried that Sam is going to be a mini Mildred and is clearly not happy that Sam is, sticking up for herself for once. But it's been a minute, and so they cuddle and they go to bed together. This might be at breakfast, but Sam and Aussie are talking. Sam is pretty much walking on eggshells, saying, hey, Aussie, are you on track to wanting marriage? Are you on track to kind of deciding where things are going or where things are headed? Aussie says yes. I don't buy it. I don't think Sam does. Sam doesn't want to settle. She wants somebody who is actively choosing her and wanting to be in the relationship and marriage with her. And Aussie is not feeling the same. Aussie says that they're headed in the right direction. And Sam, I don't remember what exactly she said, but she mentions Mildred's name. Just mentions it. I don't think it was anything mean or attacky, but she mentions Mildred's name, and that sets Aussie off. And Aussie's just like, well, that ticked me off. I'm over this. I'm done. I'm walking away. Don't ever mention her name again. This seems exhausting to deal with, like both for Aussie and for Sam. Aussie gets very upset loses it, goes to the closet and cries. And Sam's just like, no, I'm not gonna follow Aussie. I'm gonna stand my ground. I know my value, and I'm gonna stand firm. Good for her. Oh my God. We're gonna end this episode with Xander and Vanessa. Once Xander and Vanessa get back to their apartment or home, they give each other a really big hug. I bet it's been emotionally draining for the whole thing to go through a long-term relationship breakup, then go on the high of falling in love with somebody else, and then kind of breaking up with them, and then getting back together with your ex, but then it's your ex, so it's not as good as the person. That's a lot. Vanessa says that she is ready for a family. She's ready to get married to Xander. I don't buy it in the slightest. And Xander's like, why now? What changed? Like, seriously, what changed? Vanessa's like, I grew. Vanessa then asks Xander about if Xander and Yoly had sex. And Xander kind of comes clean about it, but doesn't get into specifics despite Vanessa asking for specifics. But Xander did clarify, or at least admit to having it have been more than one time. Vanessa is very bummed out by this, because I don't think Vanessa thought that Xander would find anybody here. Actually, we know that. She said that. Xander said it felt really good to... They're after me. Xander said it felt good to find herself with Yoly. And Vanessa says, hey, do you love Yoly? And Xander says, I don't know. I don't know. So I think Xander's just playing everything close to her chest and not... I just think she's playing it. I just think she's trying to keep it and not upset anybody. I think she's just trying to be very non-committal about things until she has to. Vanessa sits on Xander's lap, they hug, and they smooch. I wonder what this means for Yoly! But then Xander gets upset, or more emotional, and excuses herself to the bathroom. So that ends their first night together. Next time we see Xander and Vanessa, Vanessa has gone through Xander's phone, because apparently that's okay with them, and it had been before this trial marriage. And Vanessa had found out that Xander and Yoly had been texting even though they had broken up, and Xander was supposed to be focusing on Vanessa for the trial marriage. So Vanessa's very, very upset about it, and she brings it up, and Xander's kind of like, and Vanessa says, I love you, and Xander doesn't say it. And then Vanessa's like, say it, Xander. Say I love you, Xander. Say it. Say it. And then Xander finally says, me too. That's not the same thing. I'm happy, though, that Xander is staying firm. I want Xander and Yoly to be together. I'm sorry. I love Mal. I really do. But I don't think Yoly appreciates Mal enough. My 2 cents. We end this episode on a hot air balloon with Xander and Vanessa. And Vanessa reads Xander a nice little poem, or a journal entry, a poem, a letter. And it says in it how much she has grown to appreciate Xander, how she wants to marry Xander and spend the future with Xander. Xander just, I think it's just, Xander was only able to commit to only focusing on Vanessa for the rest of the trial marriages instead of being torn between Vanessa and Yoly. So Xander is just kind of like, okay, I'm going to focus on you for the rest of this trial marriage. I'm going to try not to talk to Yoly, and we're going to see where this goes. And I'm going to focus my attention on you. They're in the hot air balloon, and it's lovely, and I want to go on a hot air balloon so bad. That's on my bucket list. Hot air balloon. And they kiss. It's looking okay with Xander and Vanessa, but like, I don't buy Vanessa's decision to now want to get married, and I don't think they're good for each other. I think Vanessa needs to go have fun, go have her freedom, go enjoy, and Xander wants that family, and that's okay. That's tough. So what do you think about this week's episode of The Ultimatum Queer Love? Do you think any of these original couples are gonna stay together? Like, what is happening? Tell me your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm doing my next recap. And I have a Patreon now. So link for that is in the description box below. Please help me create and entertain you. That's all I want, is to entertain you. If you feel inclined to do so, link is in the description box below. And shout out to Greg for being my very first Patreon subscriber. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.